Hello, and welcome back to another Minecraft Let's Play video with me, Elven Dragon. So last episode, we went and salvaged a ship from the ocean and brought it out here, turned it into an airship, and parked it in our port. And I am quite happy with how it turned out. I do probably need to go and support that balloon and tie it down a little bit more, but it seems to be holding for now. And today, I think it's about time we went and got a bit more of the port in. We do have quite a bit more work to do around here. We do still have pretty much all of the detailing and basically half the roof on the shipyard here still to do. But I think today we are going to be focusing on getting the last few buildings into our port area here. And I think there's really two that we need to do here. One thing, we need a warehouse to store all of the goods that we are getting into our port. And we need a trading company building. Yes. We need some place for people to hire out ships, to send out to the outer end to go get resources and whatnot. So I think those are going to go into these spaces over here. I think the space next to the shipyard there, not quite sure. Did mark this out as a building originally. I think this might be a little too narrow for what we want to do. So we may just put in some decorations. Maybe we'll put some stalls or something in there. I don't really know. But I think maybe right in here, we're going to have to definitely expand this back a bit. We might put our company headquarters. And then over here, we'll put in a warehouse. Maybe we'll move this back. I don't really want to cut into the terrain here too much, but maybe here? Yeah, I think that should be good for a warehouse. So I'm going to go get those marked out a little bit better. I've got a bunch of stuff here. I think we're just going to do our normal palette here for the end. And I think we'll mix in some of the deep slate tiles and chiseled deep slate and stuff like that into this. It works really well with the road here. So I'm hoping that will help fit in a little bit better with our buildings. So I'm going to go get at least this a little bit better laid out so we actually have something to work with. And then I'll be right back. All right, and there we go. We now have a layer on our main building here. Still no floor, but that's a very easy fix. And we didn't really get a wall in on the warehouse here, but that should be pretty simple. I think we're just going to do wood planks for pretty much all of it. The corners will fill in with end stone since we're not going to see them, which we might do on here as well. Since I'm thinking that what we're going to do is we'll have a pillar going on the corners and a few other spots. So we won't even see this block here, but we did need to have that in for building up the wall. And that way we know what we had used and we didn't have too much repeating on the inside. I think there's a couple spots where we have the same block like right next to each other. I think we did all right. And yes, it is 3 high. I did say I was only going to do 1, but if we go all the way over here on the back, it is actually 1 high at the highest point. But what I'm thinking is our warehouse is going to be 5 blocks tall. I don't quite know how big I want to make this building, so we'll have to start working on the interior here and figure that out. I think I want to do 2 layers, so it might be about 10, maybe? Again, we'll have to play around with it. I do know I want the warehouse here to be 5. I think that should make it nice and short. Might need to cut that down when this is 5 blocks long, but I'm thinking what we're going to do is we will have logs off the side here and just make it look like we've got beams going all the way across here. And the birch, we'll have to strip that later. I think that should be pretty good. We'll put planks on the floor, I believe. And maybe we'll do some variations with that. Maybe we'll use some fences and fence posts like we have on our shipyard for at least part of it. And I think that will look good. Now, for our main building, we want something a little fancier. So let's do some quartz pillars. Do some here and here for the center bit in the doorway. And we'll have to figure out how often we want to put these. Do have the three. It should be roughly square, I believe. Ooh, actually, that's perfect. We do it every 3 blocks. That fits perfectly on the side. Now, I don't know what we'll do for the back. Probably the same thing, where we just have that one thing of two. Maybe that'll work. Hope to keep this even at least. And I think that looks pretty good. And we do have some stuff to play around with the warehouse and how we want to do that. But I think the basic part of our trading company building here is looking all right. So we definitely need to go and take a look at this a little bit more. Not too sure about using the quartz. Normally I tend to avoid using it with the endstone stuff because it's a bit too bright. So let's come down here. I don't exactly have a very good place to look at it from afar here, at least on the front. Yes, if we do that, we can do, yeah. The quartz is what it needed to give a nice bright white pop to this, opposed to the very muted sandy colors that we've been using. And I think the deep slate works really, really well in that. So, looks like I've got some playing around to do the walls and figuring out how tall we want to do this one, or rather how exactly we want to do the warehouse. So I'm going to go play around with that first. I do want to do the floor in our trading hall building. And what I'm thinking is we'll just do a basic checkerboard. Got plenty of deep slate and we've got a decent amount of quartz. So I think we'll just do a normal black and white checkerboard with deep slate and quartz blocks. I think that should look pretty nice. Don't know about the regular quartz though. I guess it works because it looks similar pattern wise to the deep slate, just in the opposite color there. So we'll leave it like this. I don't think we need to go and get smooth quartz, and definitely not quartz bricks with the blackstone being polished like that. I think that'll work well for our trading company floor. Just kind of gives a more businessy feel to it. At least I think it does. So, it's like I need to go and some more of my cobbled deep slate somewhere, but I'm going to go figure out what exactly I want to do design-wise for this. Probably get this path moved out a bit farther as well, since we're going to need to connect this to the path. And then I'll be right back. Alright, and there we go. We've kind of gotten the basic structure here for the warehouse in. Quite happy with how this turned out. Do need a little bit more stuff on the outside here though. I think basic shape-wise, it's looking alright. Got a nice sloped roof here. Didn't really want a full point, but I think this looks good. It's nice and low on the slope. And then on the inside here, we've got some brick logs built into the floor, so it looks like it's a little bit worn. We do need to get some barrels and maybe some shulkers in here with some trap doors to get some shelves and such so that we can actually store stuff properly in here. But that is just going to take a bit because I don't exactly have all the materials to make those barrels. But other than that, I think it looks alright. Do probably need to put in some more logs across the top for rafters. I think what we've got, this is looking alright. Does look kind of bland from the outside, so maybe we need to do something with that. Maybe we'll mix in some stairs or something into the side here, just vary it up a little bit. But I think that other than the handful of details on the inside there, which is just the shelving and rafters and barrels, I think that that is the warehouse pretty much done, which means we can then focus on our trading company building. So I'm thinking we need to get some stairs in on the sides here. Need to put in a desk in the middle here. Let's see, I should have some quartz on me somewhere. All right, there we go. We have 26 quartz blocks, 43 pillars. Might put a few pillars in here, but let's start with, I don't know, 12 stairs? Start with 12 stairs. Now I'm thinking what we'll do is we'll have stairs going off the side here. We'll have to make sure that we conserve some of these. So 3 blocks here. Thinking actually 3 blocks might actually be the right amount. That gives us some space. We can put a balcony up here. Let's see. Do we have... We really don't have anything. Alright, temporary block placement here. Just use the cherry slabs for now. But we'll do a balcony area up here. This is a lot smaller than I thought it would be. Want the desk area right here. We'll have a wall here. Yeah, then doorways here and here. Yeah, that'll give us space for a back office area. Back there. No windows in there, of course, but do that. Have a little balcony here. Have a tiny little office space back here and here. Not quite what I was hoping for, but I think it'll do. Wonder though. Let's actually take this out here. Desk here. And what happens if we move the wall forward by a block? Since we don't exactly need the wall there, that gives us a nice space back here. We could put a couch or a couple couches back here. Could even split this off and make this into another office with a door going into this area. So this could be like a little meeting room. This could be the main office. I like this idea. Just need to figure out what we're actually building this out of because it's definitely not going to be cherry planks. So, yes, that means we have to figure out what we're doing here. And if that's 3 blocks tall, I guess it makes sense for this section here to also be 3 blocks. I'll have to play around with that, see how that looks. But I think that's a good start. Here, that gives us roughly what we want to do. And it starts getting the interior of our area here laid out. So I'm going to go figure out what I want to actually build that out of. Probably not the cherry, though that might actually get used a little bit. Keep putting in some more of our pillars over here to the height that they need to go. And yeah, at least what we've marked out here in for our building. And then I'll be right back. All right, and there we go. We now have the building all the way in. Well, mostly. Most of the roof is not in yet, but we do have the interior here in, and I think that turned out really, really nice. We have a little sitting area here for having a meeting, which connects to a little office here. We don't really have a table in here right now. Isn't really sure what to do with that. I do like the cherry wood furniture and doors and stuff in this. I think it works really, really well with the quartz. Upstairs, we just have 2 small little offices. Again, we don't have any desks or anything in here, just the chairs. And then we decided to do the ceiling out of smooth sandstone. Something I'm thinking is we do need a little bit of light in here. So let's see. One of these 2 blocks here is the middle. And we do want this over the edge, so let's do that there. Then I think something that we could do is not that. Something I was thinking of is we can just have chains and glass panes. We'll have a lantern hanging off of there. Need to make sure we have some glass panes up above. Another lantern. And we're going to use this to make a nice little chandelier. I think that should be pretty good. You kind of want to do a little end rod thing here as well. So I want those pointing down. Just mix those in with the rest of the chandelier here. So maybe something like that maybe? I think that looks okay. Provides a nice amount of light in here. Wow, that is bright. And I think that pretty much illuminates the entire inside of the building. But with that in, that pretty much finishes off the inside. We do need to do some doors, which I should have some cherry doors in one of the barrels down here. You know what, looking at this from down here, those middle two pillars just don't look quite right. So, first off, get some actual proper doors into this place, because that is what we went to go grab stuff for. And now let's go fix those pillars. I think what's throwing me off here is the ones on the edge and quite a bit lower. So, what we'll do is once we fix the wall here, tear those down to about here, and then we'll continue those up with birch fences maybe. Let's see if we can't ring that entire window with fences. That looks a bit better. I may have to play around with the transition there a little bit. But for now, let's just add the finishing touches to this. I'm gonna get some grass, some trapdoors in the front here, and put in a few little flowers. I think that'll look good. Add a nice little bit of color into here. And there we go. That turned out fairly nice, I think. Not the best thing in the world. Let's get a better view here. But I think it definitely looks pretty nice. Again, gotta figure out what we're doing with the top of those pillars. Maybe quartz stairs look nice to cap those off. I don't really know. I'll have to play around with it. See what I want to do. But for now, I think that is going to be it. We do have to put in the rest of the roof, but that's just going to take quite a bit of deep slate tiles and putting in the back arch of the roof. I did go for a full point on this one just because I think it looks a bit better and it makes it stand out quite a bit more compared to the very low slope on our shipyard and the much lower point on the warehouse. So I think it looks alright. Still a little bit of playing around with it to do. But I think for now it is in essence more or less done. So I'm gonna go figure out where I put more of my cobbled deep slate. I should have a couple more stacks stashed away somewhere around here so I can go get that roof in. But I think for now is gonna be it for today. So thank you all so very much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like and consider subscribing if you want to see more what is going on out here in this end hub and in the rest of this world. And I will catch you all in the next one. Goodbye.